Okay, so welcome to the January 22nd, 2019 Node.js benchmarking working group team meeting. We'll follow our standard agenda along with whatever else people want to add to the agenda. So let me just pull that up. Hold on. Getting to the minutes doc. Oh yeah, if everybody can add themselves into the minutes, that would be good. Just add myself while I'm talking. Okay. I'll let you finish adding yourself. Here's the link. You can find the. Somebody won't chat.
Oh, I added myself. Were you typing my name, Mike?
I just put in the beginning, but if you can finish it. So, what am I getting? What I want. Okay, so our standard agenda. Any announcements for this week? No. Okay. So moving on to our standard issues, the issues that were tagged. The time taken, I guess I haven't heard from Gareth for a while, so no. So I guess we need to follow up with him and see whether he's actually going to have time to look at that or not. It's been quite a while, so maybe the answer is no. I require perf cast much lower, right? So you had an update on that one, right?
Yeah. So I want to see if we can deploy it and see whether that fixes the issue. Most likely.
Right. So that is pull request number 257.
Right.
And I think I'd already looked at it, right? So how about I will land it right this second, and if you can just keep an eye on the run tomorrow.
Yeah.
See if it does make it, resolve it, or at least doesn't break things.
Okay.
I was just, when I reviewed it, I was just waiting for, we need our usually 2 days or something, but then I forgot to come back, so. Okay, so that is landed. And then hopefully that'll be done, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Note to landed PR in meeting. And we'll validate resolve in nightly run, and then we can close. Okay. Add ghost workload to the benchmarks. So I think that was next on your list, right?
Yeah. So do we still care about ghost benchmark?
It's still important to try and fill out that matrix. I guess the question is, do we still think that's the next best one to do, right?
Yeah. So I looked at the code itself, and mainly what it does is just the static pages.
Okay.
It doesn't really do. It just makes a query to database, gets the data, and just build a static page, and that's it. And it serves from the cache.
Right.
And it will not work with the dev version of the node. It will not work with canary version of the node. It will just work with the LTS version.
Okay, so
I personally don't see huge usage unless I was more thinking about some kind of a server-side rendering case.
Right.
Because now we have, whenever we have at least I see, whenever we had to render a large page, the process would block for a long time. And now we have multi-threaded support. There is a way we can compare doing with and without threads, how the rendering helps that use case.
Node does not. So really what you're saying is you don't think it adds much coverage, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you looked at it and you think that that's the case, I would say that, yeah, it would be maybe that's not the priority then, right?
Yeah, I would rather focus. I had already have a small working example of the server-side rendering. I can submit it. I would think that would be more useful than the Ghost itself.
Okay. Server-side rendering. Rendering benchmark. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. So if you want to take that one off the agenda, like untag it, and
Okay.
that makes sense to me. Like really, we just want to focus on the ones we think add more value. If you've looked at that one and it doesn't look that promising, then I
Okay.
agree. And I think the last two really we were waiting on Jamie for those two, right?
Yeah, I tried to connect with him, but I could not.
Okay.
I hope he's still at school finishing up, or maybe he already finished. I don't know.
Okay. So I had sent him an email, but I'll try again as well. So I think we'll just. I saw he did have a tweet about his wife had a presentation on her PhD thesis or something. So he's still around. I think we just need to see if he's still interested in working on this related.
Okay.
So that's what we had on the agenda. Did you have any other things you wanted to add in for discussion?
Yeah, so the last time, I don't know whether if you remember, we talked about the zlib library dependency. So I did go and kind of looked at the history, and I did find that the last release of the zlib was last year of January.
Okay.
Or maybe even 17th of January, really long time ago. And it is not really maintained well.
Okay.
You asked me to open an issue. That's what I'm going to do.
Right. In the main node repo, you were saying you wanted to add some additions to it, right? And
yeah, so now I'm confirmed that I think I should open an issue and let's have a discussion.
okay.
Or have your initiative about the NPM modules standardization.
Yep.
That you think that's still a good idea, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's worth opening an issue to basically, like, because it's a core dependency, I think opening an issue saying, I've looked at I want to make some changes to zlib to extend it to do, this. I looked at zlib. It doesn't look like it's really being actively maintained. So you tried to get some changes in there. The alternative is to start maintaining those changes in the repo here, but I wanted to open this issue to make sure people agree first. I think something along those lines will get the discussion you need to have people say, oh, no, try something else, or yeah, okay, that sounds good. And when the PRs, when you submit your PRs, you can then point to this saying, hey, we agreed to do X, right?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, that sounds good. Any other issues? No, I guess the other one was, did we want to talk about level of activity in the working group?
That is correct.
And I guess the question is, do we just keep on going? Do we try and find new people who are interested? What do we do on that front, I guess?
Yeah, and it's your time as well, right? You have a lot of other things to do. So is this something important? If not important, I mean, we can observe the web page. It can still run, I guess.
Yep.
But do we need to meet like this often? And unless.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly have been thinking along the same lines. It's kind of like I do have a lot of other things that I should be thinking about or am thinking about. So I mean, maybe how often do we have the current schedule?
We have like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I'd say like maybe we should move it to once a month or maybe once every 2 months. What do you think works on that front for you?
Yeah, that sounds good. And if you want me to kind of do something, that's fine too. Just let me know if you're too busy.
Sure. Well, like certainly if you want to take over, or like, because like say, for example, when we're coming up to node 12, we'll have to add the 12 to the benchmarks, the nightly benchmarks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you were able to do that, that would be good.
Yeah, actually, I already started discussion with Gabriel, who
Yep.
worked on NAPI, right? So
Yep.
I was talking to him a couple of days ago, and now actually he is in my team
Yep.
here at
Yep.
Intel. So we're talking about that Ansible template. Remember, we talked about
Yes.
long time ago.
Yep.
Somehow get that standardized. So I'm going to start there,
Okay.
and if that is so, as that is part of that will be part of my learning to
Okay.
the whole infrastructure. Okay, that's
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And right. Do you have access to the build machine now?
no, I don't.
Okay. So that's the one thing that there is a build. I just have to remember, like, so if you can send an SSH key,
Okay.
yeah, or no, it's a GPG key.
Okay, so is there a process somewhere I can do and
Yeah, well, here, let me see if that's somewhere. So in the build, GitHub, under build, so, hmm. Yeah, we have okay, so that's where, no, that's not where it is. Where are those? Okay, so where's the, I think there's already a key somewhere. I'm just trying to, like, we have a breakout for build for test, release, and admin. I'm just trying to see if I can find somewhere that actually talks about how those are managed. And where, actually, hold on, let me see. Okay, well, I don't think I should do it right now, but basically I'll have to figure out how we get, I always meant to, but how to get the key, like a key for the benchmarking machine so that you can get onto that one.
yeah.
Because
So
to run
actually,
Ansible, you will need to do that at some point.
yeah. So I want to see how if I can do a little bit more on maintaining the infrastructure, the
Yep.
benchmarking runs and all that. So
Yep.
free you a little bit.
Yep. No, definitely. I'd be happy to get you to the point where you can do that. And so I think the next thing coming up is definitely adding 12 to the benchmark runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't think you need access to. Not, I mean, we'll do that in parallel, but you could look at that to understand what you need to do. Because I think you already did some of that anyway. Like you added the charts for.
The Node.js, yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually not going to be that as it'll be easier than that one, but it's just a matter of like dropping 6 and adding 12 to the list, the ones that are charted.
Yeah.
Now on the build jobs themselves, that one. Let's see. I'm just looking the Jenkins CI. Because that one, I think you're already in, like you should be able to actually admin those Jenkins jobs, right?
I did not try after the last time. After the
Oh,
last.
so yeah, go into Node.js. If you go to ci.nodejs.org. And you click on Node.js.benchmark and then just choose one of them.
Node.js, okay. I'm on a Node.js.
And then say go to like project
benchmark.
benchmark footprint.
Okay, Node.js benchmark, okay. I'm clicking the first one.
Yep.
I can see that.
And do you have a configure button?
I don't have. I have a configure button on the left, yes.
Right. Okay. So you're, yeah, that's what I thought. You're like in the admin group that of people who can configure those jobs.
Okay. Okay.
So like that's the other thing that's if you look at that job, um, there is one for 10, there's one for 8 and so forth.
So, so those are on the top level?
Well, yeah, at the top level, you can see 10, 6, 8 in Canary.
Yeah.
So what we'll need to do is create one which is for 12. And then like we can basically clone that. So actually I could do that right this second. So I'm going to see new job.
So when I said 10, do you mean this build environment where you specify the 10 or the?
Well, just like I'm just going to create the, like you see in the name of the job, there's a bunch of different, oops. You see a bunch of different, like under Node.js benchmark, there's benchmark footprint 10 -10.x.sys.x. This is at the top level.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So we'll need to create a job which is 12.x.
So, okay. So
actually, I should be able to Jenkins. Right. So new job. Why is it not?
Okay, so here I don't have a configure button on this. So if I click on Node.js benchmark, I do see everything. But here I don't have the configure where I can really.
Right, but you only get a configure when you click on a particular job.
I see. Okay, so if I say benchmark footprint 10.x.
Yep.
Okay. Click on that, then I get the configure button. Okay.
Yeah. So, but so you have the admin rights to configure them. Unfortunately, like the way we've set it up for working groups, people can modify jobs but not add them. So we need somebody from the build working group to actually clone the job. Now, I'm wondering why I'm not being able to. Anyway, I'll clone the job. So I'll make one that's 12 that doesn't run, which will be a copy of 10. And you'll need to go in there and say, okay, well, instead of running on 10, I need to run on 12, right? Inside there's, as well as update all of the like there's some settings that say, well, what version are you going to publish this at based on the numbers in the like we have our stream version numbers.
Okay.
And like, so for example, if I forget if you remember in the repo, like there's a file that lists the numbers out that are.
Yeah. The streams. Yes, I do remember that.
So, maybe if you all create the clone, you should see that relatively soon. Then, you can sort of read through that, figure out what you think needs to change, and create the PR to add 12. And then I can, you having done it, I can walk through it the first time just to, you can make sure it all looks good, and then you should be up to speed for doing that.
Okay.
And then in terms of getting access to the machine, I'll put that higher up on my list to figure that part out again, so that when it's broken or whatever, you can help out to keep it going.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll set the meetings now. So today is the 22nd. Let's do it, say, monthly. And if nothing else, we can talk about what next piece to try and get you ramped up on.
Okay.
So where is repeat? Okay. Sorry, I'm just wrong calendar. Now I'm on the right calendar. Oh, it's just slow, that's all. Okay, there we are. And I'm going to edit that and say the repeat. Okay, we had it every 3 weeks, but we might as well make it every monthly. Every 4 weeks, we'll say. Okay. So sounds good. Sounds like you got a couple things, and I've got a couple things, and we'll try and make sure we get those done before the next meeting.
I'm going to give you one more thing.
Okay, one more thing, sure.
So Node.js doesn't seem to be running with the Canary build in the benchmarking.
Actually, I did note. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I noticed that. But so yeah,
I did build at the local, and I have no problem building with Canary. So I don't know whether it's a job is not running or what's
okay.
going on.
Well, let's go there and take a look. So here I'm going to share the screen so you can see if I can find the right spot here. Okay. Share. Which is the right window. Sorry, it's just going to take me a second to close things. Heck. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Cancel. Leave. Okay, well, I'm just going to open it again. This, okay. Right, so I'm going to go back to that same tab, and the Canary was the one where it was having trouble, right?
Right.
So it's built. Okay, so let's see where we find that.
Yeah, this is Acme Air, and yeah, no such file. So there was this.
Let's just look up to see if there's something up higher that's complaining.
Yeah, this no down there. I think the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there is an error. I don't know whether that error, no such file for the log.
Right.
Oh, there's the econ refused.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, so one. Let me. Okay, here actually. No, I'm just gonna see because you had access to the machine at one point, right?
Yeah, there was for the small. I think few days you gave me access for something.
Yeah, so I think. Okay. But okay, so you don't think you have it anymore. I'll open an issue to get you access so we can put your key on, and at least until I figure out the regular way of doing it.
Okay.
Because it sounds like you need to get on to investigate that anyway. So
yeah, at least locally I wasn't able to reproduce that. I was able to run to completion.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'll get you access so you can try it out on the machine itself.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else for today?
Not from me.
Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, no, I'll open an issue, copying you in the build working group, just saying, hey, I want to add your key, and I'm also going to try and and I want it to stay on until we figure out the other issue in terms of the, getting the regular build working group members access.
Okay.
And once that happens, it'll just take maybe a day to get everybody, people to give chance to people to say sure, and then we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe if you send me the key you'd want me to add in the meantime, that would be good.
Okay. So you can add as many keys as you want.
Basically it's just SSH, right? So normally what we do is we actually have like a test key and we have an admin key. So we wouldn't necessarily add individuals keys.
Okay.
And so the more generic approach we have is to create a key pair, which is for benchmarking. And then on every machine that the benchmarking team needs to have access to, we put that key there. And then through the secrets repo, based on your GPG key, you'll be able to decrypt the key that you need, the private key, so you can actually log in with that key.
Okay.
But to do that, I've got to figure out the process. It's not that complicated. We've got to figure that process out. So, but in the meantime, like we quite regularly give people access to machines just by adding their key.
Okay. I'll send you mine. I did send you once. Maybe I'll just send you one more time.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay. I'll have the most recent one. Okay, great. Talk to you later.
Yeah, do you want to see if anyone connected?
Sure, that's a good point. Let me see if there's any questions or anything. Where is the window for that? Can I find that? Okay, let's look. Okay. Okay, if anybody has any questions on the live stream, now's the time to ask them. Okay, if anybody has any. I don't see anybody, there's been a few people online. Nigam said hello and thanks for the good work. But I don't see any questions now, so I think we're probably good to call it a day.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep, talk to everybody later. Bye.
Bye.